kept all the heaters on. This car's got heated seats. It's got like it's an optional extra, the leather seats. But they're heated and they kind of cool, and I'm freezing, and that sucks. Also, I need to find a USB port. Ha. You need like skinny fingers to get in there. Okay, yeah, phone's on charge. The car's got 2 cup holders in the center. I dream of the day when there is like a phone holder in the center. It doesn't have to be like a clip or anything, just like a place to put your phone, you know. CarPlay, new device detected. Would you like to connect Apple CarPlay? That sounds like a plan. CarPlay really is the business, and it's standard in more and more and more cars these days. Plug your phone in and the CarPlay pops up. You can control podcasts and messages and nav and all kinds of cool stuff. Audio books. There's a Volkswagen app. You need to install it on your phone. I want to do that. Audible. It's pretty cool. So this new screen on the Golfs is really, really funky. It's about a 9-inch screen, and it's just kind of really smooth all the way around. So the buttons themselves are hidden behind sort of the screen. So it's almost like the modern Samsung phones, you know, where the sort of the home button sits inside the screen, sort of behind the glass. It's not an actual protruding button. Pretty freaking spanky. It's getting nice and toasty in here now. Wow, it's still got a way to go. Seats don't heat up. I suppose that's fast enough. It's been like 2 minutes. So this is what is this? This is the Golf 7 upgrade facelift. So it's not like a Golf 8. VW have made a point of saying it's not a Golf 8. So it's not a new car. It's a facelift to the 7. So the sort of unofficial name for this car is that it is the Golf 7.5. How you live with that? It's a freaking good car though. Whew. Got windshield washers, and wipers that work. Of course, the Golf is kind of staple diet for VW. They've been building Golfs for 43 years. 43 years. I mean, that's longer than I've been around. Golf 1, they had the Golf 2, which is like the jumbo Golf. Then there was that Golf 3, which was okay. The Golf 4 was an unmitigated disaster. Golf 5 was okay. Golf 6 got better. Golf 7 was staggering. And the Golf 7.5, they've taken a brilliant car and actually made it better. So yeah, 43 years later, they're still making really, 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 really good cars. 33 million Golfs sold globally. That's a lot of cars, eh? That's like almost one for every South African that can drive. Do we have 33 million drivers? Probably not. South Africa, though, they've sold just over 350,000 Golfs. That's a lot. What's new in the Golf 7.5? So it's not like a completely new car. Obviously, I mentioned just now, like the infotainment system in the center here has got a cool upgrade. The dash and the layout's pretty much the same, standard steering wheel. They've redesigned the front bumpers, they've redesigned the back bumpers. They've now got an all LED light cluster at the back. They've replaced the halogen lights in the front with optional LEDs. They don't come standard on this car, but they do come standard on like the GTI, for instance. They've also built this Golf on the Mqb platform. Now, for those of us who don't speak engineering car geek, The MQB platform is basically just sort of a shared platform that they use for multiple cars. So they'll build one kind of platform, that's the wheels and the chassis and the suspension and the drivetrain and all that kind of stuff. And the reason they do that is so that it just reduces R&D costs. So instead of developing an entire platform for every new car they build kind of one universal platform that put all the money and effort into that, make it really good, and they use it across the range for all their cars. So that's what this has got. It's got the MQB platform, and so it's basically the same as the new Passat, the new Tiguan. They all have that MQB platform. So it's the same kind of really cool tech that goes into it. The result is that this car handles incredibly well, the same way the new Passat handles really well, the same way the new Tiguan handles really well. Okay, cranking up all the heaters was maybe a bit ambitious. So now I feel like I have wet pants and I'm dying of heat. Turn that down a bit. Whew. 5 minutes from like frozen to pretty much cooking. So they're going to do the Golf in like a whole bunch of different engines, but the three that they've started out with here in South Africa is a 1 litre, 1.4 and a 2 litre. So the 1 litre engine's the same as the 1 litre engine I had in the Polo. Link to that review at the bottom here. The 999cc 3-cylinder engine produces 82 kilowatts, which is quite good for a small engine. It was an absolute bomb in the Polo, and no doubt is really good in the Golf. Not driven that one yet though. This is a 92 kilowatt 1.4 litre engine, which is nothing new. It's pretty much the same as the previous generation. There's no power changes there, but it's just really good. It just works. It's the right amount of sort of power and torque for the size of car. And then obviously there's the 2 litre engine, which they have put in the GTI, and the GTI then comes with 169 kilowatts. So it's quite a jump from 1.4 to 2 litres in terms of power output. Almost double. But this engine just feels right. It's not immensely powerful, but it's produces sufficient amounts of sort of torque and grunt for a car this size. There's one thing Volkswagen do really well. It's pick an engine, build it, refine it, get it right, and then put it in every single car. So like, you can get a 1.4 Polo, you get a 1.4 Golf, you get a 1.4 Jetta, you get a 1.4 Passat, you get a 1.4 Tiguan. And they just, same engine, the 1.4 TSI, and they put it everywhere. So instead of like every car having like a variation of an engine, it's like this thing works, we just stick it in everywhere. And in fact, it's the same for the 1 litre, which they've now put in the Polo and the Golf. And then of course their 2 litres, specifically that 2 litre diesel, they really use that thing everywhere. What always gets me about the Golf is that it feels so much more upmarket than kind of where this is pitched and this is priced. Road noise insulation is fantastic. The build quality on the actual car is really good. It kind of just punches one class above its weight. Suspension's really good. I mean, our roads in Cape Town are kind of catching up with the roads in Joburg, so we have a lot more potholes and weird stuff. And this suspension just cruises right through it like nothing happened. So fuel economy on the Golf has been pretty good too. I've done 408 kilometers. I've averaged 6.9 liters per 100. And that's mostly town driving. I've not been on the open road a terrible amount. And I can still do the range left. I'm not even on half a tank yet. The range left is 390 kilometers. So this is a 50 litre tank. You'll probably get in the region of 750 before the light starts screaming at you. You need to stop for some fuel. So what's a Golf like this going to set you back? You are in for this one at 356,000 Rand, which is not that bad actually. It's a lot of car. It's a lot of really good car that you get for that. This one's got a couple of optional extras. The most notable ones is the acoustic park distance control. That's a fancy way of saying it'll beep like a madman every time you get close to an object at the front or the back, which is helpful so you don't crash into anything. The other one is the leather seats that I mentioned earlier, complete with seat warmers. If you're in a cold climate, not like Cape Town, I mean it's like 12 degrees and I'm whinging about it, but if you're in like a properly cold climate, then I can imagine that being really, really useful. Right, let's go on the open road and see what that's like. Oh, and cornering. This golf corners and handles. This golf handles so well. I mean, this is like a 350 grand Golf. This is not, it's not even like a performance edition. This is just the standard Golf. This is phenomenal. It's like you can feel the engine's not, it's not like a performance engine. It's not gonna like tear up the streets, but it's not sluggish at all. I mean, I'm doing 140 already. I should probably back off. It just accelerates really well. There we go, 120. Now we're legal. It accelerates well. It produces the right amount of power, smooth delivery. Got a DSG box in it, which is that 7-speed DSG box. You don't even notice. You have to really try to notice gear changes. Like really try. Otherwise, just switches through 7 gears and the car keeps moving forward. I can understand why Volkswagen sell as many of these as they do. They're really good. Like, this is the gold standard, the Golf standard. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. I didn't make that up. This is like the gold standard in hot hatches. Anybody who builds a hatch is building their hatch to compete with the Golf. Sound system's pretty good. It's not a Bose or a Harman Kardon, although if you like have money you want to throw away, you can buy one of those. But as a standard sound system in a car, yeah, that'll do.